Imagine a mind that instinctively ignores the surface of an object to trace the invisible mechanics operating underneath. For an INTP, understanding a system means stripping it down to its core logic, seeking the precise patterns that define how the pieces actually fit together. Look at history, and you'll find this exact cognitive profile driving significant breakthroughs. You see it in the relentless theoretical curiosity of Albert Einstein and the sophisticated code-breaking analysis of Alan Turing. Look at the equations on this board. To an INTP, dense data isn't intimidating, it's a puzzle waiting to be solved. Their primary intellectual superpower is the ability to deconstruct complex systems, strip away the noise, and uncover the universal truths operating underneath. From the outside, this process looks like complete obsession. An INTP deep in thought becomes intensely focused, entirely absorbed in gathering and synthesizing data, to the exclusion of almost everything else around them. Society relies heavily on this specific type of thinker. Without minds capable of operating at this level of abstraction, we would struggle to map the theoretical boundaries of science, philosophy, and technology. But here is the contradiction. The exact same mind capable of conceptualizing the physics of the universe frequently hits a wall when it comes to basic linear daily execution. You can see the physical symptoms of this glitch in their environment. An INTP's workspace often devolves into chaos, scattered notes, empty snack bags, and half-open books, usually accompanied by severe chronic procrastination. This to-do list shows the reality of the struggle. The intention to complete a task is absolutely there, but when it comes time to execute the mundane, step-by-step actions required to finish it, the INTP brain often stalls out. This state is known as analysis paralysis. It occurs when a brain spends so much energy calculating the optimal path forward that it effectively runs out of momentum before the first step is ever taken. Why does a brain engineered for incredibly complex problem-solving get completely defeated by simple, everyday reality? To answer that, we have to look at the engine running inside. The INTP cognitive profile is driven by a primary function called introverted thinking, or TI. This means they cannot accept surface-level explanations. They have to understand exactly why and how a system works from the ground up. This mind map illustrates how TI operates, mapping relationships between isolated facts to construct a highly precise internal model. But this model is constantly fed by extroverted intuition, acting as an engine to generate an endless stream of disparate possibilities to test. To satisfy any, the INTP gathers data points from completely unrelated fields. A concept from evolutionary biology might be tested against a framework from computer science, creating a massive interconnected web of research. The combination of these two functions creates brilliant theoretical frameworks, but it inherently delays physical action because the brain is constantly demanding just one more piece of data before it makes a decision. When the demand for data goes too far, the INTP hits a critical failure state known as the TI-SI loop. In this state, the mind insists on absolute perfect understanding of a problem before it allows any physical action to occur. Instead of moving forward, they get trapped processing the exact same information over and over again. As deadlines approach, this endless internal looping leads to extreme frustration and leaves them completely paralyzed. As a defensive reaction, the INTP will often retreat entirely into their own head. They abandon the physical world and its demands, isolating themselves to process their thoughts indefinitely. This intense internal focus creates a severe blind spot. Prioritizing internal logic over external connection, they often miss social cues and can appear aloof or completely detached from the people around them. The cruel irony is that the INTP's greatest cognitive strength, their relentless internal analysis, is the exact mechanism isolating them from human connection and practical progress. Short-circuiting this paralysis requires a deliberate strategy. INTPs have to aggressively force external input into their lives to break the rumination loop. They have to adopt a core psychological rule. The act of physical implementation provides raw data that internal analysis can never replicate. You have to build the thing to truly know how it works. By lowering their standards to embrace what is simply good enough, they allow their chaotic theoretical ideas to finally crystallize. The endless web of possibilities becomes structured, usable output. Bridging the gap between theory and action requires structuring a physical environment and daily habits that force thoughts into tangible results, rather than allowing the brain to hide in endless research. Viewed this way, the struggle with routine administration appears as an inherent trade-off. This specific brand of cognitive specialization prioritizes deep system analysis over the linear, mundane tasks that keep the physical world running. A functional society actually requires this specific brand of thinker. We need their objective skepticism to rigorously test our ideas and identify the hidden flaws in conventional wisdom. When they successfully manage their tendency toward paralysis, INTPs are the ones who design the underlying conceptual systems that advance civilization forward. The Logician's work provides the conceptual architecture of the world, but to leave a tangible mark, they must learn to tolerate the messy, imperfect reality of the world we live in today.